Pruning suckers is something that is starting to pick up steam, not only in the tomato world, but in the world of cucumbers and squash. Basically, the idea is that you constantly remove any additional growth that is from the main stem in hopes of harnessing more activity and more energy towards flower clusters on the main stem, which in turn results in higher yields. But what if I told you, regardless if it's tomatoes, cucumbers, melons, squash, whatever the case is, that this is not the case? It's actually quite literally the opposite. Now, this is something that I've been growing very skeptical of. And the reason for why is because why would removing more of the plant result in more fruit? That seems really counterintuitive, considering that is the gas behind photosynthesis. And not to mention, you can and will get flowers and fruits off of those suckers. So if you don't know who I am, hi, hello, my name's Ashley. I have a bachelor's of science in soil science. I like to take that science and apply it to all things plants. And today I actually did dig into kind of the literature behind this, because in my humble opinion, I don't remove the suckers anymore. I leave them in place. What I do remove are the leaves that are closest to the soil. But based on everything I'm reading, it's not so much whether or not you should remove the suckers. It's actually understanding why you remove the suckers, and then determining if you should move the suckers depending on your situation. Just like everything in gardening, it's very situationally dependent. So let's look at exactly what the studies have said and whether or not you should or should not remove those suckers, because again, it can differ. So number one, what exactly is a sucker? A sucker is not a great term for exactly what's going on there. It's not sucking or using or burdening the main plant in any way. What it is, though, is it is a new stem that will develop and act and behave very similar to the natural first stem of your plant. So what happens if we leave these suckers alone is we will end up with more flowers, because remember, it's acting exactly like the rest of your plant. More flowers very obviously means more yield and more fruits in the case of peppers or squash or melons, whatever the case may be. Now let's go back to that original theory of why we remove suckers. We remove suckers so that the plant can focus more in on the development of the flowers and the fruits on that main stem. But let's think about that here for just a minute. If we remove the suckers, we are removing basically the equivalent to the main stem, which means we are removing, of course, flowers and future fruits. And we are also removing possible energy used in photosynthesis. And we're removing leaves that can be used in the future for possible photosynthesis. The only way that this belief could be even remotely true is if the plant itself has a finite amount of energy. If there's a finite amount of energy that has to be spread amongst the entire plant as a whole, then yes, removing excessive levels of foliage would help with this. But tomatoes don't have a finite amount of energy. Simply put, plants aren't operating from a savings account. They are actual active solar panels. So they are constantly making more energy, banking it, and then utilizing it as it's needed. So when we actually remove those suckers, we are removing an entire solar panel from the house. And that means less energy that can be captured when it is sunny and bright outdoors. So where the heck did this recommendation of pruning or removing these suckers come from? Because it didn't just come out of thin air. And a lot of these garden hacks actually truly do come from science. And this one in particular actually originates entirely from commercial production. We all know that commercially produced food on a commercial scale has a lot more money put towards it when it comes to research. And that simply is because there is money to be made in that world. But you as a gardener have completely different goals than a commercial grower. For a commercial grower, you have a very specific set of goals. Your specific set of goal is maximum yields per square foot, but you also have to keep in mind reduction of disease, reduction of pests, increased airflow, and most importantly, the last two, sooner, faster, quicker harvests that are on a time frame, because you have a contract to meet on XYZ date for XYZ amount of tomato or pepper or squash or whatever the case may be. And number two is uniformity and perfectly similarly shaped fruits and vegetables. You as a gardener, you don't really care so much as to when things are harvested, because you don't have to harvest tomatoes when they're perfectly ripe. I'm going to do a whole separate video on why you don't have to wait till tomatoes are ripe and why waiting till they're ripe actually causes more issues. That also goes for peppers as well, if you watch my pepper video. So timing as a gardener, not a big deal. Uniformity as a gardener, also really not a big deal. We don't have commercial canner sizes we have to meet. We don't have to have a produce shelf that looks perfect. We need to fit onto a sandwich. And if it overflows from that sandwich, even better. So as a gardener, when does sucker removal actually make sense and when should you do it? Well, number one, if you are entering a giant tomato competition, then absolutely prune away. You actually probably want to prune most of that plant solely because you want it to focus all of its energy into one singular flower cluster. And I actually probably wouldn't prune the leaves. I'd prune just the flowers themselves. But other than that, what else would be the reason for why you would prune? Number one is if you have disease or pest pressure. This obviously indicates that there isn't enough airflow and that there's way too many plant highways, meaning highways in which one plant leaf or stem is touching another. This is a great reason to prune. Number two is if you're growing inside of a greenhouse and you want one singular stem due to just the proximity of other plants. That also makes sense. Number three is that you are growing inside of a container. Number four is if things are too tightly packed together. Obviously, in this instance, you're going to have disease pressure, pest pressure, reduced airflow, but you are also going to have another thing, competition for light, competition for nutrients, competition for water. This would be another reason to shrink that plant up. So next time, before you just willy-nilly start removing suckers, actually ask yourself, why am I removing those suckers rather than should I remove those suckers? For more science-based content on not just tomatoes, but a whole host of other crops and the soil, be sure to check out my most recent video. And that is what Google says you should watch next based on what you've been searching lately. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.